Hello and welcome to our how-to video on the retrospective board in mission control. An important part of any project is reviewing how it went and identifying learnings that can be taken into future projects. The retro board enables you to carry out a lessons learned assessment of a project. When conducting a retrospective, you can identify learnings, and for each learning, you can indicate your opinion as to whether it was something that worked well and that you can take into future projects, or perhaps it didn't go so well and you may choose to try something else next time around. You're also able to tag each learning against a number of categories, and these parameters will enable you to search the retrospective board in advance of kicking off a new project to identify learnings from previous projects. For example, you may want to search for all learnings that worked well with a category of documentation before commencing a business requirements gathering exercise. And the Retro tab gives you access to the retrospective Kanban board, which displays the learnings related to the retrospectives, which in turn relate to the projects. You can add additional filters to narrow down your learnings, and you can also sort the learnings based on a few different criteria. And finally, you have auto refreshing poll, which, when switched on, allows other users to view the retro board and see any live changes being made. Let's have a look at the retro board. There's a number of places where you can access the retro board from. The first being in the tab over here. You'll see that I've already got a few learnings created. So a retrospective relates to a particular project, and a project can have multiple retrospectives related to it. For example, you may choose to conduct one retrospective ceremony at the end of a project, or alternatively, you may choose to conduct a retrospective each time you complete a milestone. With the retrospective, you'll be able to create learning records, and these learning records identify the individual items that the team has reviewed, and you can have multiple learnings for each retrospective. And let's see how we can create a retrospective first. So you can click on this add retro button. You can name it. So I'm just going to name it AFIN retro for relating to the project name. So AFIN secure website security project. Give it a name, a date, some notes if you like. But I've already created one, so I'm just going to click cancel here, and just so you'll see that there's a few fields. Worked well, needs improvement. Try next puzzles us. So all of these are field values for the opinion field in the learning object. So if you like, you can. So I'm going to say that I needed more. I needed to add a learning to the needs improvement. So I can just click over here to the add learning and start relating it to a project. Ifin, and it's automatically going to list on all retros relating to this project. Ifin retro, and I'm going to say testing resources, and just click enter. It's going to create it for me, and I can click on this eye icon to edit it, add more details. You'll see that it's already updated opinion to needs improvement because I started editing from the add learning over here. And I'm going to add resources to this category, so and testing as well. So I'm going to say I need to add more resources for testing, etc., etc. Save and then close. And you can see that while we're on this Kanban board for the retrospective board, you can move this around, you can change categories for it, and it's automatically going to update the opinion value. We also have this feature called auto refreshing poll, and if you enable that, any changes that you make, other people viewing this retro board will be able to see those changes live, and they won't have to refresh the webpage for that. So that's a good feature to have on. You'll see that there's a column heading over here which you can sort it by. So we have opinion, as we've already discussed. We have reported by. Since I'm the only one who's created, you'll see all of the learning cards reported by me only. And we can go onto the project tab, project sorting. So it's gonna sort it all by all of the projects that have learnings related to them. And we can go to retrospectives, and it's gonna show all the retrospectives. And we can also have the category. So this category relates to the category on the project, not the learning category that is mentioned on the learning. So you'll see there's a category resource and testing. So this is not what it's referring to. It's referring to the project category. So if we go to edit, you'll see that there's, by default, it comes with only the TBC pick list value. So you can add more, which I've added here based on your requirements. So I'm just going to switch this back to opinion, and next we'll see the filters. So by default, it doesn't have any filters on. I've created this filter right now, so I'm just going to cancel the filter. And so you can create filters based, filter out any projects that you want to see, retrospectives, project categories, learning opinions, reported by, and so on. You can also choose to save filters. So for example, I need to see website builds, and I can save website builds, and I can just click save here first and then filter it out. And you'll see that all of these learning cards are related to website builds. And if I go to another tab and come back to it, it's a persistent filter, which means that it's gonna remain that same filter. Um, what you can do is leave it, create a new filter for all learnings and leave it empty, and then save so that you can see all of them together. Or you can click this cancel button. It's going to remove all those filters that are in place. So another place where you can access the retro board is to go into the project and go to the overview tab and then retro tab. Over here you'll see all of the learnings that are relating to retrospectives which relate to this project specifically. And the last place where you can access the retrospective board is on object pages for three objects: project object, retrospective object, and the milestone object page. So if you go into the Lightning App Builder or edit page from here, so if you do have access to that, you can add it on, or you can ask your system administrator to help with that. I'm just going to add a new tab here. Add tab. Change this to custom tab. Name it retro board. Done. And then I'm just going to search here retrospective board. Drag that over here. And what it's going to do is look at the project that we have, and it's going to show you all the retrospectives and the learnings related to this specific project. And that should be it. So you can just save it from here. So that concludes our how-to video on the retro board in Mission Control. Please do reach out to us if you have any questions via email or the support tickets. We have other resources that you can take advantage of, like our very detailed user guide, training videos, and searchable knowledge base, as well as the learning portal. Thanks for watching and have a great day.